Welcome to Dude Reviews. I'm your trusted advisor, Captain Rhone, and you can only see my face right now because we are doing an underwear review, and I am not wearing any because they are all right here. I'm doing this underwear review POV. No, not because Mitch is dead, but we thought it'd be weird if we were prancing around in our underwear on screen. It's already weird enough we're doing an underwear review here anyway, and I have all my trousers or under trousers sitting out here. So David Archy, a brand never heard of. David Archy kind of sounds like a mafioso. I feel like I need to say it that way. David Archy. They had sent me some underwear to try out, and they're, I have a lot of underwear I like, and decided to give theirs a try because they had a couple different types. There's one you can see here, and one you can see here, which has a very unique feature that we'll talk about a little bit more in a bit here, and decided to give these a whirl to compare with my tried and true, and I figured it make sense to do a comparison video. So we're going to go through some pros and cons and some features and benefits of some of these different pairs of underwear, and I'll give you my take on it. So let's start with this one here. This is one of my favorites by Quince. It's obviously gray. I got the gray, black, and blues, and price-wise, pretty good. I think it's a 3 or 4 pack around like that $40 mark. These are great because they're very plain. I like plain, not a lot of branding. They're not too long here. I have the thunder thighs, so these tend to ride up when they're too long. So I like this more, I guess you'd call it trunk style as opposed to boxer brief that's longer. Big thing is the Joey pouch, big fan of that, and it has some extra fabric here, so that way it kind of, hugs the twig and berries nice and well, but not too compressed into your thighs where it's all camp ass and stuff or sweaty balls. So if you look inside here, it's a solid waistband. It's long enough, not too thick, doesn't roll, and you can see some basic stitching that you'd expect on the inside here. You don't really feel too much. Doesn't chafe, doesn't rub. It's pretty seamless seams, and the back side, there's no weird stitching back there. It doesn't ride up your butt crack. It doesn't give you like a butt floss thong action with these. 100% organic cotton too, which I like too. I'm big into the natural fabrics now. Now that polyester stuff that makes you sweat your yarbles off and then stinks forever. So that's that one. Next, we're gonna go into, what do we have here? BearBottom, a little more affordable, more value, not cheap, but like cheap on the lesser price size, but there are some downfalls with it. These are solid too. Your gray boxer, a little bit of branding in the corner here. They're a little bit longer. These ride up on me. Doesn't have the Joey pouch. This is fine. This is classic. This still works. But you don't have like the extra kind of giving fabric here. So this can kind of compress a little bit with Big Jim or Little Jim, depending where you're at in the day, and the twins. And if we look in here, we got some thicker stitching in here. And these are Modal, which is good too. Modal is like the in-betweener fabric from polyester and cotton, where I think it's made out of like tree bark or pulp or plant fiber through a chemical process. So it's kind of your tweener between your cotton and your polyester. But it's super light. It breathes well. Some of the stitching is a little irregular in here, a little thick, but I haven't really noticed it while wearing it. But what I don't like about these, they're not as form-fitting. Well, I'm almost too form-fitting where like it rides up the butt crack for me. So when you have a big butt and thighs like I do, the thunder thighs, and a badonk junk in the trunk, I'm picking my, doing this a lot, which I don't like. All right, so next we have, that's David Archy. The other ones, we'll wait on those last. Let's go with these next. This is Rhone. Rhone is a high-level men's brand company. I don't think I've done a Rhone review yet on here. Maybe I should. But anyways, got these a while ago. These have been solid. They've lasted for a while. Again, more of that short boxer brief style. Got a little bit of their branding here. Smaller waistband. I like the basic stripes, not a lot of branding. It's got the kangaroo or a little pouch from the top here where you can just kind of whip it out from the top, which I enjoy. Or not enjoy, but like, especially like using the restroom, peeing. I'm not one of those weirdos that like, undo your buckle and pull your pants down to go pee. I actually pull it out through the zipper like a normal male in a urinal, and these are very convenient for that. They've lasted a while. I've had these for a while. On the inseam, the seams, it's a little thicker, but it's very, very soft. I'm pretty sure this is a polyester Modal, maybe some sort of blend. They've lasted a while. I did cut this off. They had some stitch or a tag inside there. And then what else do we have? We have a little bit of stitching in there. But overall, these are super light and they don't ride up. And they don't go up your butt crack, which, you can tell it's getting a little old there. I may need to replace these, huh? It's wearing a little bit. I think I got a little, see-through going on there. Anyways, okay. So, moving on. Next one, these are great. I don't think they make them anymore. It's called MyPakage, you know, great brand name. And I got these on sale. That's why the loud color. I mean, they're underwear. Who cares if you have loud underwear? But I like your normal, you know, plain colors, I guess. These are great because, one, great fabric, super nice, smooth, thin, wicks moisture well, all that stuff. A little irregularities in the seaming here, but otherwise I never really feel it while wearing them. They fit really well. They don't ride up, and a big part of it, calling MyPakage, is that they have like this extra fabric here to really kind of hold the twig and berries. When you look inside here, you can see there's like an opening where you just kind of fit your schwanz and, you know, sweaty balls in there, and it kind of keeps them separated with this little liner here. And what's nice about them is that when you pop it in there, it stays in there, and they're kind of free-flowing, free-balling, so to say, but you also don't feel like you're hanging out either. So it's kind of like a nice, you know, like a, you know, kind of a nice feel. If you need to adjust yourself, you can kind of, you know, juggle a little bit, but, you know, don't shake it more than twice, because otherwise you're playing with it. These are solid. They don't make them anymore, though, but big downfall, no pocket anywhere. So you have to kind of pull these suckers down to go pee. I do not like that, especially going through a zipper. All right, now to the David Archy. So there's two types here that they gave me here to try out. And we got one here, which is their seamless in blue, and we got it in gray. And then we got their extra special dual pouch right here, which we'll get to in a minute here. It's a little secret. So the waist free is $40. You get a 4-pack. I got 2 blue, 2 gray. So great value out of the box. And you can see they're pretty standard. A little bit of branding there, not too loud. Very classic. I like this style. They're a little bit longer than I would like. They still don't ride up, but I like that shorter boxer brief I mentioned before. I don't know if they have a shorter one with this style here. As you can see, the side pouch, which not my favorite, but not a game breaker, or sorry, a deal breaker, has extra fabric here to hold on to the schwanz. And then when we look in here, right, we can see waist free. It is made out of mostly micro modal, and it is super soft, super thin, but it also holds up well, washes well. I've worn these in sweaty, or even worked out in them just to try them out, and not that they work out trunks, but you can, and it works fine. They've been great overall. And the big thing is this waist free here. As you can see, it's pretty seamless seam. It does make a difference. You pop these on and it feels super, how to say, like almost like there's not a waistband there. I guess hence the waist free thing, but it does. It feels really light around your waist, has a great feel. These seams in here, you really can't feel there. If you look on the back side, as you look at the standard backside, it doesn't ride up your butt like butt floss, and the waistband doesn't slide or flip over. They fit really well. I really like these. I think these are my favorite ones out of the two. Here's what the blue ones look like. Classic. All right, now to the dual pouch. You got 3 of these. I got them in black. And, oh, by the way, they do have for both. I think these are mostly black and gray, but I know the other waist-free ones they have in some other color combinations. So if you want to do your pastels or your earth tones, you can do that type of stuff. All right, so with these, this is kind of like their extra special one, I'm guessing, because they really wanted me to try these out. It's very unique. So looking at it first, same micromodal fabric, super soft, stretchy, form-fitting, and a little longer than I like, again, but doesn't ride up. Has the branding up here, not a deal breaker, but it has that. I like it more plain. And we look inside, this does have the seam, as not waist-free or seamless, but again, this is very minimal, and you don't really feel it at all. But the big thing about these is the features for the twig and berries. So if you look at this, you almost got like a little hoodwink for your schwanz, and then the nuts kind of sit right in this pocket here. So let me show you this on the computer. This is the branding, so you kind of see what it looks like. So it shows the balls sit in that spot there, up in there, and if I scroll down, you'll see, which I think is kind of funny, it looks like your nuts are sneezing, but it's kind of showing that your balls can breathe separate from the schwanz there, and you stick your schwanz through there through the hoodwink. So it's a little confusing at first in the picture, so let me show you how this works. And this could be really, I mean, the main selling point for this. This is the bro, could be the con. I'm kind of in between on it, and I'll share for that in a reason, or share that reason in just a moment here. So let me show you how this works. So if I take these here, and you'll see in the side here. So obviously you can tell you know what goes in that hole, right? And then what goes underneath here, which is more of a different type of fabric. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's a little smoother, a little thinner, I guess, for ventilation. But the nuts go right in there, okay, in here, and then you stick your schwanz in there. So if I have the schwanz there and the twins here, right, they kind of hug or sit right in there. And so on the outside, what it looks like, right, is this here. So here's the schwanz, here's the nuts right here. So it kind of hangs separately like this. So literally underneath your little smoky summer sausage, it's separated. So it's separate between your balls and your junk and the schwanz right here. So it sits separately. If you're someone that gets super sweaty, I mean, this could be the ultimate underwear for you. So how do you use the urinal? What you do is you pull the hoodwink up and over, and then voila, here we go. And then you pull the thing back over this way, right? And the ball stays separated. However, what's interesting about the feel of these, it takes getting used to, because unlike the MyPakage here, which I mentioned before, has some extra space that holds on, almost like a hug. This keeps it very kind of separated. And in a way, when you're wearing these, it kind of feels like you're just kind of hanging out there. There's a few times I'm like, am I just outside of my fly, hanging out? I'm not. It's just, it just kind of feels that way. And because it does that, you sometimes can get a little rubbing on your pants or things of that sort. And so depending on how well in doubt you are, I guess, it might be a good or a bad thing. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't mind them. Not my favorite. But like I mentioned, this could be huge for you, especially if you're someone that gets a lot of camp ass and pretty sweaty down there. So that's the deal there. One con with it, though, is that if you do lose this, it takes getting used to bring this back on. And sometimes you might pull out of the slot here and you got to reconfigure. It happened a couple times, but not that big of a deal. All right, let's wrap it up with some quick pros and cons and the final verdict. So we have here the dual pouch, the pros and cons for both. Great fabric, great design, and overall solid trunks, and at a great value. 3-pack, 4-pack, both $40. Right now, they actually have Black Friday buy one, get one, so that's even better deal. And my favorite are these, but this, if you like this, huge. But that's my bro and con for these. Cons for both is that they're just a little long. I don't think they have the shorter version. If they do, then that con is negated. I don't think so. Outside of that, this is more of a personal preference. So, and then with these, the big thing is that waistband feels like it's not really not there, but just feels like I don't know how to explain it. It's just like the waistband is there, but it's not there, right? And so that's a huge selling point. If you're someone that kind of fidgets with the waistband or you get uncomfortable with those things, this is definitely the one to try. Only con I have with this one outside the length is going to be that the pouch is here. I would love to see the Joey pouch here. If that was the case, I'd be doing BOGO right now for a bunch of these and replacing my other old underwear, because those Rhones especially need to be replaced. So, final verdict. Verdict! And pun intended for this one. I'm going to go with the dual pouch at a 3, 2, 1, 4.36. And then let's go over to the waist-free final verdict. It's the final verdict! No pun intended this time. 3, 2, 1, 4.63. So there you have it. There's our men's underwear review, highlighting David Archy with the dual pouch and the waist-free. And we went over some comparisons with some other underwear. Highly recommended these. The pros outweigh the cons. And the value that you get with $40 trunks, 3-pack, 4-pack, and right now buy one, get one. You can't go wrong to replace your under trousers this holiday season. Thanks for watching, and now check out one of these videos here.